Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Anatomy. In the previous video you saw that we had some setbacks on the driver's side door, and while I'm kind of bummed about that, I've had this huge pile of suspension parts just collecting dust. So I thought in this video we would put the front suspension together finally and talk about what the next steps are for the Project Code Blue Mustang. Before we get started, if you like what you see here, click on that subscribe button, comment below, tell me what you'd like to see in future videos, and share this video with your friends. It lets me know that I'm making content that you like to see and that you want to see more of it in the future. So now let's get on to the video. When rebuilding suspension on an older car, I really like using all new components and especially all new hardware. So on structural things like this lower control arm bolt, I'm using a brand new grade 8 nut and bolt. Not that anything was wrong with the original, it just gives me peace of mind for only a couple of bucks. So here I'm just running down the nut just a little bit, but not tightening it all the way yet. We'll tighten it down completely once I can get all of the suspension in place and get weight put on the car. So I picked up this awesome little jig from a company called streetortrack.com, and it's super simple. You just bolt it in place of the original upper control arm holes, mark your spot exactly where the smaller holes are, and then drill it out. It's reusable and it's about as idiot proof as you can get. So I'll put a link in the description below where you can pick it up. Here I'm placing the original alignment shims back into place. I know that I'll have to get the car aligned again, I just wanted to have a good starting point. I've got to give a shout out to Jeff, aka 2Blue2 from StangNet, for hooking me up with the V8 front spindles. Thank you so much, man, I really appreciate it. In order to install front springs on a Mustang, you've got to use this type of spring compressor, and an impact helps. However, with the shorter front springs, the compressor can be a challenge to place. I'll use 2 metal bars or extensions across the inside shock tower to support the upper. Place the bottom hooks on the lower part of the spring, but not the very bottom. Then use an impact to compress the spring. If all goes well, you should be able to place a jack under the control arm and lift it up until the spring contacts the lower perch. Now simply loosen the spring compressor and keep the jack in place until the shock is bolted in. Otherwise, the control arm may droop too much, allowing the spring to come out. Next up, we've got the cover that goes on the outside of the coil spring. I've found that it's easier to place the bolts from the inside first and then set the cover in place and then just place the nuts on the outside. Otherwise, you're trying to hold the cover in place and that can get pretty awkward. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing and comment below and let me know what you'd like to see in a future video. Coming up in the next video, we'll work on getting the rear suspension buttoned up, put the rear axle in place, and hopefully make it a roller. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.